live.
Hello, everybody. We are live. We're back. This is Develop Your Mindset podcast. We're back, Luis and I, Varush. We are doing number 89. We're one from 90. We've been doing this for a while. We always talk about what happens in the company. By the way, this is a jewelry company. We are designers and retailers. We also do manufacturing, but we have a website. If you guys want to visit, it is kabarti.com, and we will put the link down below. You guys get to see the designs and what we do here. But everything that we do, there's always something happens in the company, and then that's something that it's interesting. We'll take it and we bring it out to the podcast, and we talk about it. Me and Luis, we go at it back and forth, and we just do the show that way. And while we're doing the show, there's like a lot of reality in it too. So this is not just a pretend show, it's a real show, right?
Yeah.
So who's here? Oh, there's food. So you can take it over.
Yeah. So hi everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. As he said, there's always interesting things that happen in the company, and so whatever we think is the most interesting thing, that's exactly what we choose to share and make the topic around. And so yeah, pretty much that's what we're gonna do this week. Marius had to go and take care of somebody at the door, so it's good to be here. Today I didn't order anything. No.
I don't know if
So yeah, pretty much. I hope you guys enjoy today's episode. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be about structure and stuff like that. We were talking about that in previous podcast episodes where we went into like structure and how, structure, I'm taking more of the side of like, structure is something that must happen, whereas Varus is more on the other side where it's more about going with the flow, using your heart more, using your intuition more, and really feeling things inside, which I kind of disagreed with. But anyway, we're going to be sharing that with you guys in the podcast. And yeah, so Varus is coming back.
All right, I'm back. Thank you, Luis. Yeah, like we said, there's a lot of reality in our show. This is really what happens here, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna go through this one pretty quick, pretty fast. But we have how many questions we have?
We have a lot.
We have a lot. So we're gonna read, and maybe you're gonna read some, maybe I'm gonna read some, and we're gonna go debate style, and let's do it because we don't have a lot of time. Hope you guys have fun because this is a really serious thing here. It's been happening for few months, 2 months or more, back and forth, and we're gonna discuss here on the show, and let's see where this is gonna go. The first one is a little bit very different, but I put it here because I want to start from this point on, because no matter what happens, it doesn't matter, right? Like life goes on, things, you gain things, you lose things happen, you own things, you don't own them anymore. It doesn't matter. Life just goes on. So that's why I put this here. What is the worst can happen when you die? Seriously, like when you die, what can the worst happen? Like nothing, right? So some people will come and take your belongings that you have. It's gone. Like when Egyptians thought they were going to take their wealth with them, they put it into their friggin' tombs, and thieves came and stole. What's going to happen? The worst. Whatever you have, it's going to go. So what? Like that's not. You're not going to lose your life that you live over that kind of mindset. So I put that over there because it's kind of like weird. I don't know if you have a few words about that.
Not really. I mean, I saw this point and I didn't see how it related to structure, but I mean, I was hoping I would hear something there. But I mean, yeah, pretty much what he said. I mean, people come and go, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, everything's important. But when it comes to in the all seriousness, what's the worst can happen, right? Why goods do not bring happiness, but happiness bring goods? there are a lot of these small things here. I put it because I feel like those are ignitions of to like start talking about this, structured or not structured, or how else you can do better in business environment or relationship environment or whatever. That's why I put it here. So why goods do not bring happiness is because if you don't have someone that cares about you, or you care about something, or like you're important, you're not like people praising you, making you like bringing you up, all those things, just by having a beautiful diamond in your hand, or like badass like jacket or nice car, nice rims, not gonna bring you happiness, but happiness will bring you goods, because when you're happy, you fucking like you're out there kicking ass, hauling ass, just like fucking doing it, and then you're happy, you're excited, you get tired, exhausted. Like yesterday, I was so tired, my eyes were burning, my head was pounding, and I was just vibrating in a not right way. I needed sleep, and I kept on putting these computers together, monitors, everything. And because I was happy, I was excited. I was like, I wanted to see that thing come alive, and so the happiness will take you much further, much longer than having a nice, beautiful ring in your hand, like diamond, that or something interesting happening. So remember, we're talking about structure. This is the most biggest point here that today we'll be going over. So having structure, having amazing environment you build for yourself, and you're not happy, it's not gonna work. It's gonna drain you. You're gonna be drained, and it's gonna be like, who gives a shit about all these rules, all these ways of doing this. But when you're excited, you just like on fire, man. So
So I agree with the first part. I think goods in of themselves don't necessarily bring happiness. I think materialistic things. I think they're great. I mean, they obviously. I think every materialistic thing can serve a purpose and can really help you out, whatever your journey is. So definitely don't disqualify those things, because I mean, whatever industry you're in, maybe you need like equipment or you need certain things. So you need to actually get those things to have experience with them. But as far as like that happiness in of itself can bring goods to you, sure, I think that could happen, but obviously I think that you should implement some sort of structure in order to make it happen, to go from happiness to actually something that can bring you success. I think happiness in of itself can stand on its own, and you don't necessarily need to. I don't think it necessarily ignites any sort of will to want to go and take action, because it's just happiness, it's just excitement, and it's something that you can literally just enjoy by doing nothing really. You can just sit and pretty much be happy and be content. And I think I think part of being happy is being free of judgment and being free of the judgment of others, and really breaking out of your ego and breaking out of like the standards that you have of yourself, and just pretty much accepting yourself for who you are fully, and really break out of the norm of being like successful and having to be like the best at everything. You really come to terms that you're just a human being and you're doing the best that you can. And that's pretty much it. That's my take on
well,
happiness.
yes, everything you said is amazing. If you were only talking, it would have sounded like that was really, really amazing, badass. But in all reality, like it doesn't matter. Like you have $1 million in the bank, and you have like 500 orders of the ring you're gonna make, and you're gonna make $1 million out of. If you're not happy, you somewhere you're gonna lose focus, attention. You're gonna lose the drive. You it's like you guys gonna find out that all these triggers that we have here, we're gonna talk about. It is part of whole structure, that feeling, hard work, determination, and education. It's you know what was the word? There was a word I used. you're gonna find out in the end. So combinations of human psyche, feeling and knowing and doing and everything, it is combination where it comes together. It starts making like coming together into something unique, something special, something your better version. uh, this is what we're talking about. So that was really good. Let's move on to the next, which is, if you cannot figure out figure out for yourself, you will never achieve anything amazing. So you have to be able to figure out, obviously. And then what does it take to figure out is you gotta figure out that part too. So there's a lot of figuring out to do in this
Yeah.
segment here. So basically, you gotta read books, man. You gotta read. Without reading, you're not gonna know what people did before you and what our people are doing, because those people read about those things. You gotta read first, and then you gotta figure out where you stand, who you are, what do you need to do. Like, yes, you have to have structure, but in that structure, you have to have components attached to it. If you are not excited and you're just sitting there in a dark room, and then you just, because you got to do this and this and this and this, and it's gonna work, and then you're like, fuck, like, I just want to be home, I just want to go play with my backyard, or it won't work. You have to have components where it fucking like takes that structure and turn it into this like beautiful glowing light, and you can't get away from it. You're like mesmerized of it.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing, like, to build something amazing, you have to have multi dimension, like
Oh shit.
yeah, definitely. You have to, like, you got to be multi-dimensional, man. You can't be one-dimensional. It was not gonna work. You gotta freaking have dimensions. You gotta have some facets. You have to have some light coming through here, getting out of there, and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, just don't be too dull. You gotta make like, you gotta build this machine where when you get there, it's amazing. You just feel amazing.
Yeah, so I agree in part, which is definitely
Thank God.
definitely read books and and
Oh my
definitely
God.
read books and educate yourself on whatever your passion is, whatever your work is. Definitely, do your best to like know as much as you can about it and always keep learning about it, because in the end, like, nobody's really going to come and like teach you a lot of the things unless you go and you proactively ask for help, or you're constantly seeking for information or asking questions. Like, nobody's just going to come and just teach you out of nowhere, so you have to go and do your part and do that. As far as like the multidimensional stuff and everything, I wish he could explain a specific process to get there, but like, to me, it sounds like that's something that's very just unique to you, very very zoned in there, and because of that, that makes it very like you can't replicate what he's doing. So if anything, like, it's something that is just going to stay with him, and pretty much nobody else can really understand or even replicate it, because there's no system, which is why I believe structure is much more effective, because it can get broken down into actual action steps that you can take in order to produce the same result, just like he's doing here. And so, yeah, pretty much.
It's that was really good. uh, the structure is very important. That's not what I'm debating. What I'm debating is structure by itself is not gonna um, complete it. If you're gonna do something amazing, um, amazing doesn't happen because you have the ABCDs, right?
Mhm.
Um, you gotta have the ABCDs, but also you gotta have multi-dimension, which is like the knowledge to use those ABCDs and write books with him, and write all kinds of books, and like maybe like and to read, that's another dimension. Like you gotta have ABCDs, but put it on the wall and start reading it, and then that's another dimension. And then you write a letter, that's another dimension. You give it to somebody, and then that person reads your thoughts and your words. And then there's like all these different dimensions. You gotta be good at it. You can't be writing some, like you write stuff, and then you can't be writing something stupid and expect that someone's going to get moved from it, like, or understand what you're trying to say. Like these dimensions have to be part of the structure,
For sure.
Yeah. Awesome. So if you start wandering out, zoning out, wandering out, and going after smooth things, you will lose your goals. Obviously, you gotta have a goal. You have to be goal oriented, and you have to have structure attached to those goals. But if you start wandering out, like, no, the structure says this is what, this is how, this is why, and you're gonna miss out a lot. Some people are, I don't know, like, again, can I say multidimensional? And if you're dealing with aliens, let's say, they came from up there, they're probably not going to understand structure, man. They're going to have different ways of dealing with each other, maybe telepathically. Is that the word? I think I messed up that word. But you just have to have open mind a little bit. You have to be willing to bend a little bit. And you have to make things work. So many times when I'm making jewelry, the same thing, this time it's not bending, it's not working. I gotta find a way, man. Like whatever it takes, I have to do it. That has to look like that. I'm not gonna settle for anything less, because the design is gonna be compromised. It's gonna look different, and my name is attached to it. Kabartsi name is attached to it. And that team goes out there, everyone's going to be like, who the hell made this? And when, like, I can't risk that. So I gotta get out of the box and then make that work. So the box itself, it's good, but it's not going to take me all the way, all the time, because all the time is not the same. It varies. Life is static. It's constant moving, shaping, changing. Your competition is doing something different. You gotta compete, with that guy or that company or whoever. And you can't be just like, no, that's it. This is how it's gonna go. I don't see it. It didn't happen for me. I don't think it happened for others that they did something bigger than them. It's just this is what the debate is here with Luis and I. This is real debate, actually. You guys are watching the real deal. So I think, let me hear how you're going to put this down.
I mean, I don't think any of that is wrong. I just think it really depends on the person. And I think what you're missing here is that, everybody's personality is very different. And so because of that, everybody operates in a very different way. So there's people who are more creative. So they have that creative mindset, which means that, yes, they'll be more like you. They'll be more like outside the box. Obviously, you cannot close in those people because, they always want to come up with new ideas. But then there's the creator, and then there's also the person on the back who could be doing all the logical reasoning, who can carry out things from the creator and make something happen out of that. And so there's people who are very good at just staying within a structure and really, like, carrying out tasks consistently that can produce a result somewhere down the line. And so without really having to step out of that and really staying in the structure, that's really going to make the creator, whatever the creator is making, really pop. And so I don't really think this is a thing about like which one's right, which one's wrong. I think it's about, which one are you? Are you more the creative side? Because like most of the people, like we look at, the authors, the the face of the brands, those are more of the creators. Those are the ones out there, speaking and everything. But then they have the people in the back, the people in the office who are actually putting in who are doing what is needed to keep that company running. Where they're taking care of finances, they're doing strategies with social media or stuff like that, right? Those are the people who are actually making it happen, while the creator is out there doing their thing, going, and it's always a new thing for them, while the person in the office is making sure that that system in the back is always functioning and it keeps running, like you can have like the driver of the boat. The driver of the boat is the one doing all the things, and then you have
You don't drive boat, man.
and
You
then
you caught, you caught
and
something like that.
and
That's the
then
word.
well, they know what I mean, but like you have those people, and then you have obviously the systems in the bottom who are making that even possible. Without the things in the back, all the systems are working to make that boat stay afloat. That driver of the boat, like, he just can't do much on his own. So yeah.
I guess that's very very true. But also you have to understand what kind of environment you are becoming part of. Now, are you becoming part of a structured environment, or are you becoming part of a creative environment? So you have to, I guess, you have to learn who you are. How do you function? If you do, great. If you don't, ask yourself, who am I? How do I function? If you understand that you function only in structured environment, then you have no business in being in a creative side of anything, because you're not going to shine, and you're going to look like you don't know. In all reality, maybe you are a very very smart person, but you don't function like that, and you probably have to find your place. And or in that structured space, you have to find your space, a place where, hey guys, this is who am I, this is what I do, can I do this part and you guys do the other part. And then maybe that way, because of that freaking, like, that the company or the space will shine 10 times brighter. So yeah, it's very important to really know who you are, what you are, how do you function. And this is, a lot of debates going on here in the company too. So I hope this is helping you guys to understand and realize that maybe you're doing this and then you should,
Yeah.
yeah,
Honestly, I think they should work together, and
yeah.
whoever you are, of course, play to your strengths, but understand what the other ones are as well. That way, if you ever have to work with any of these other personalities, then you can do it really. You use more of an understanding. There's no like misunderstanding there.
Totally. I mean, just that point, we can go back and forth bunch, but there's
Yeah.
so much here. Let's talk. Let's go. What is structure? Is it a habit? Is it a habit? Is it
Yeah,
mindset?
actually, I think in part, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Obviously, whatever you do a lot, that's gonna become your habit. You're gonna just do that so many times that you just start doing it without even thinking about doing it, and that we're gonna call that habit. You can call it whatever you want, but let's say it's a habit, and you have to make that habit a good one. So you can have bad habits inserted into that big big habit, and when you start doing something, you want to do it good, you're going to do it well. And as as long as you do that, it's going to work very very okay. And if you kind of like start not doing good and then you're doing it just to do it, that's gonna be probably bad habit. You gotta turn bad into good, and then turn that good into working habits. And I would say that here, and yeah, have a structure and have a good habit attached to it, I guess.
Yeah, I think definitely, like, I think a structure cannot stand without habits. I think habits are definitely something that must be included in a structure, because the habits or the those actions are predictable. Those are things that you're constantly doing every single time, and eventually it should have like a long-term effect. If you make a habit out of educating yourself, eventually the end result is that you're going to get smarter because you've made a habit out of, let's say, reading a book every single day at 7 in the morning. You read 30 minutes for a specific book, and so you make that a habit. So then eventually you're going to finish that book and you're going to become smarter, like as the weeks go by. You finish that book, you start a new one, and so on and so forth. And so I think, yeah, definitely habits are clearly a part of structure.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you should have habits regardless, especially good ones, clean ones, and like to like remember habits and those kind of things are very good for anybody. It's gonna make you be a better person. So, is it something you do or fix? I don't know. And you learn, and you do not do the same mistake over and over. You start doing the right thing over and over, and that becomes your structure. No excuse. Which one is it, man? Like, is it doing the right thing over and over, or you doing the insanity, the same thing over and over, becomes your structure, or something you do or fix is your structure? This is very different. I don't know how you see this, but I definitely see it. It's it's not easy, especially when you start something and then you're trying to put a structure there, and it's very technical. It becomes very very weird.
They're
right?
systematic and logical.
Systematic and logical is not going to work all the time,
It's
because
amazing, man.
I mean, if you're dealing with somebody that is not systematic and logical, they're all over the place. They probably took 2 hits of something over there and came trying to deal with you, and you're trying to say, sorry, it's 3 o'clock and we gotta finish.
That's right.
Meanwhile, you haven't finished designing this. If you don't fucking design this, you're not gonna make money. All that 1.5 hour went for waste. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go over that 3 o'clock or not? Like, what did the structure go now? Out the window? I don't know. Like, you have to be very. I don't know what to say here. Like, I'm confused about this too. I debate this in my mind all the time. I debate with Luis all the time, with Rita all the time, with a bunch of people I know all the time. It's just like very confusing for me, because this is a designer house, and we're artists here. Artist does not really have structured environment, because art comes to you and you do it. It doesn't come to you. Nothing comes out. And you gotta figure out. I guess you know what. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Especially if you're artist, or you're doing some kind of art, and then you have a backup team, and maybe the team has a structure, and then like can push you and tell you like, you are out of your boundaries, come back into the rules, because if you don't, we're going to start losing money. We're not going to make any money, because you just waste a ton of time, and we're not going to be able to write the invoice that we need to write. Or maybe there's a like, that's why I'm telling you guys, this is very technical. You got to find how this is going to work. It has to work. Having a structure, and if it doesn't work, then what's the use of it? It becomes waste of everybody's time, and waste of the structure, everything. So you have to do something over and over. I don't know, like maybe not really, but until you find a way, maybe you do it. Because a lot of times when you do something over and over, it reveals itself. It becomes, what is the word? Like, you start seeing it. I forgot the word. And then when you see it, you got to change it, right? You cannot keep on doing the same insanity, doing the same thing over. So I would say here, definitely have a notebook, have a journal, write things down, how you did it, why you did it, and then go back and read and kind of like see. You're gonna see. We all know, and then we all gonna read and know what was good, what was not good for us, and I guess that's how you start. That's the beginning of the putting the structure down.
Yeah, you have me a little confused there, man.
It is confusing.
You covered a lot of things, man.
Yeah, but read the damn thing. See how many things in there.
You see, it's all over the place, man. That's what happens, man. So we're talking about habits still, right? If they do or fix something, is that what it is? Or we're talking about structure itself, if it does or fix something. Yeah, right.
If it's not broken? No.
Yeah,
Wait,
right.
what was it saying?
Is it something you do or fix? We're talking about the structure, right?
Yeah. I mean, here it's like
All
we're
right.
debating about
All right.
how this structure, what is structure, and how do you
Of course.
use it? What do you do with it?
Yeah.
And then I think after this, it's
I mean,
about,
I think the point of a structure is really to achieve a
and
goal.
then no excuse.
I think it's
No excuse, man.
I think the goal here is to achieve a goal really, and that's why we implement a structure. And I think a structure should consist of actionable steps that are going to get you to that goal. And sometimes those actionable steps sometimes have to repeat itself, and the reason why they have to repeat itself maybe because you need to increase the amount of it, maybe you need more practice. So because you need more practice, then maybe you want to get better at something, so you develop a structure in which you're practicing constantly. There's a specific move maybe that you practice over and over and over again because you need to get better at that specific move in order to proceed to the next move. And then once you know those two moves, then that opens and unlocks a new. It allows you to learn a whole new thing. And so I think a very good interpretation of a structure would be would really be like a video game. A video game is a very good example of a structure in which you start from the beginning, nothing. There's a series of things you got to do within the game, but then every single step of the game, it has a purpose. You're not just doing random things. There's specific reason why you need to do this first and this first, because in this level you're going to learn something, this other one you're going to learn something else, and then eventually when you face off like somebody like a big challenge, you're ready for that challenge because you've gone through the right steps that prepared you to get to that challenge and be able to overcome it, as opposed to if you were just doing random stuff. Maybe you were doing this one thing for such a long time and like you forgot you had to move to the next step and the next step, and well, the challenge comes by and you're not ready. And
It's
so
very easy to get stuck.
and so if you don't have a structure, I believe so, yeah, because you don't know what the next move is. You're just stuck there. You can easily get stuck even in like comfort zones. That's why people get stuck in comfort zones, because there's no structure, because
True.
there is no other, there's no next level.
Next.
You don't know what the next level is. You don't know what the next step is. You're just going random. And so because of that, you're just like, oh, let me just try this one thing. Oh, that was cool. Oh, let me just that was easy. Oh, cool. Let me just do it again so I can feel good again. It's all about emotions. And that's why I think structure is good, because it takes the emotions out of it.
Mhm.
And so you're no longer operating in emotion, but it's more logical.
You just reminded me of some people, they try, and if it doesn't work, they get heartbroken or they get disappointed,
Yeah.
and they get stuck even more
Yeah.
in where they are. So
Because there's no structure. You see, if you structure yourself in a way where you expect to fail, and you allow yourself to fail a certain number of times, you tell yourself, all right, I'm gonna start this thing, I'm gonna allow myself to fail 10 times. So that's the structure there. So I'm gonna go and try. I'm just gonna do whatever I can, because I expect to fail 10 times. Then after the 10th time, then maybe you expect to be a little bit better. And so or you develop the structure in a way where you simplify the thing so that you don't fail that often. So you make it you even break it down even more. And so breaking things down can really help as well with the structure, making it smaller and smaller, because sometimes you make the structures a little too broad and the steps are way too big. It's like it's gonna take a while to see if it's even effective or not. So yeah.
So here Luis is trying to explain the structure in structure, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Because if you don't have structure of having a patience, you're not going to be able to reach to the other side of the other point until you move on to the next point, to the next point. Your lack of structure is not going to help you to go to the next level. So yes, structure is very important, but I'm going to continue. You're going to find out that there are many components and dynamics into these structures to make this go much bigger than you, because a lot of times people get stuck in structure too. So we're going to continue. Connect your mind with your heart. Yes. You will have a specific dream that is specific for you, and you will know exactly how to become it. So listen, guys, like so many times in the past I did so many things, and I did it with my mind, and I believe that my mind over matter. Like my mind was the most powerful thing in the world. My mind knows everything. And in the beginning was amazing. It went forward. A year and a half later, I lost interest, or I got angry because I was trying and it wasn't working. So some people weren't cooperating with me. People weren't paying me, or like I expected certain things from. At that time, it was employees, and then those employees didn't come true, and I was mad. I was not happy, and many things I went through. So in the end, I learned how to connect my heart and mind together, so I can feel. I can use my feeling. If I don't feel good, I don't want to do it. What can I do to make myself feel good about this? Maybe I need to go talk to this person, or maybe I need to talk to Luis. Maybe I need to talk to my client. I need to tell him something. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling something that I need to communicate. And then that's the hard part. Your heart has to feel good. If you're feeling like congested and pressured, you mind is telling you, you must do this in 3 days. You have to pay bills. You have to pay your rent. It's not gonna go. It hasn't worked. It doesn't go. Now that's the heart and mind part. Now a specific dream that is specific for you is, you got to choose what you are good at. What, like in that good at, you have to choose which parts that you want to play, which parts are not you're not interested, you're not good at. You're going to once you learn that you love to play basketball, you don't go play football, because that's a whole nother sets of rules, and it's a different game altogether. Now you have to become good at the basketball. What you like in basketball, you gotta find your spot and play, and then train for that spot, and then on and on. So now after you figure out your heart, your mind is built for basketball, you gotta go figure out what you're gonna do the best that you could be, build your best version in there. And you will know exactly how to become it. And of course, your mind is plastic. You train you shape your mind into those rules, those what matters, and then how you're going to do it. Now structure is going to help you to get up 6 a.m. in the morning, go to practice, be there before the game starts, 1 hour before, get ready for everything. Don't be there before everybody. Eat right, don't eat junk. You have energy, take your vitamins, and then take shower, smell good, feel good, bring your heart and mind together, and then you're going to know exactly how to become it. That means you got to do all this work in order to become good at right before you even start doing it. From morning, you have to be ready for it. You have to be good in when you start. You're going to do a good job. And this part is very crucial for me. I once I learned how to connect my heart and my mind together and start working, building, everything changed. Everything.
For sure. Yeah, man. pretty much agree with pretty much everything. I mean, yeah, you gotta. I mean, like whatever you choose, it's gotta come from the heart. Uh, Choosing whatever your passion is, um, and of course, your dream is gonna be developed around that. And then, of course, you need to use your mind to actually go and execute and perform the necessary actions that you need to do in order to make your dream become a reality. And so, definitely, I mean, it's pretty much what it is. And yeah, I don't really have much to say about that. You pretty much
So
said everything there.
yeah, I mean, I don't know why I have this right after, but let me just read it. It's kind of like the same part of the same whole whatever I just said. Your heart is the ignition, and your mind gets involved and starts breaking down, building the rules. Um, oh, okay, building the rules. So the structure. Fuck, that's why I wrote it. Okay, let's do it again. Your heart is the ignition. I guess the ignition meaning like I want to do this. I love this. This is a feeling. Your heart says this. Your mind does not say this. Your mind said tons of shit. Your mind says, "What if it's difficult? How can I do it? I'm not good at it. Oh my god, I know somebody did it and he didn't. It wasn't successful, and all kinds of stuff." Uh, your mind says a lot of things, but your heart will know. That's the ignition. It gets ignited, and then your mind gets involved. uh, it gets involved, starts saying all this crazy shit. But remember why you start thinking about that specific thing. Remember that part because your heart said that to you, and then start breaking down, building the rules. Oh, if they don't pay me this much money, I'm not going to do it. Uh, if they don't give me this kind of computer, I'm not going to see the work over there. Screw them, or if they're not gonna treat me this way, feed me, whatever. Your mind is crazy. Your mind tells you a lot of things. If you feel this is good, you're gonna learn. You're gonna become somebody. You're gonna do amazing. You're gonna take a chance. Life is a chance. All chance.
Yeah. Okay. I actually,
Huh? Oh shit.
um, yeah. So I don't think you should. That last part about like, just taking shit and everything. Like, I mean, if there's certain things that you don't like about like, you're in a work environment or you're doing something and you're just not okay with it. Certain things are making you uncomfortable to the degree that they're really crossing your boundaries and crossing your values.
10 minutes.
I think that's something that you should mention, and I think you should actually stand up for yourself and and it's pretty much like really taking shit, really, and so you shouldn't do it. And I think if I mean, depending on what circumstance you are, but like if you need to stay there for a certain reason, maybe you want to, I don't know, you're trying to succeed at something, you're trying to get experience, get your result, and pretty much end that because it's not healthy for the self-esteem and your confidence to be taking stuff like that, like having to deal with people who treat you that way and where you're not getting what you want because this life is short. Why would you settle for something that you're not exactly happy with, unless of course you're trying to get a specific result. But other than that, there's just no point to be hurting yourself like that because there's other possibilities, there's other opportunities out there where you could actually get what you want. And so I think you should always go out there and pursue that thing, and however you want to be treated, however you want, whatever it is that you want, go and pursue that, go and put in the work. But obviously don't just expect it, like out of nowhere. Go and put in the work to get what you want. But yeah.
All right, we're gonna skip that big one. We're gonna go to the pendulum one, which is let's go. What kind of pendulums are you involved, such as money, friends, family, and maybe TV, that kind of stuff? You are so involved in your own even though that is hurting your chances to become the something better version of you, if you know what you love to do. Let's leave it at that. Uh, so this is the thing. You remember we're talking about structure here and rules. In that, there are a bunch of pendulums. Pendulum is something that you get involved in, and then other people gets involved in, and that gets bigger and bigger, and everyone's ruling, yay, to that. So you have to be careful what kind of pendulums you're getting involved in, what kind of rules you're getting involved in, what you're getting into, what kind of structures, such as money. Because of money, people do a lot of stuff, and then because of friends, you end up going this place, that place, doing stuff that you are not proud of or you're not excited about, or whatever. Those kind of pendulums comes about. Family is also, it's a pendulum. Like, it's my family, I gotta do it. It might be really messed up for you, bro. Like, like, have some brain. Maybe TV, we watch a bunch of shows, and then we get involved in those shows, and then we always doing that show. It's part of the pendulum, and you become like, that becomes your argument, your structure, and like, you protect that. It's, even though there's nothing in it for you, you're probably losing time, effort, money, whatever, and you're still doing it. You got to be really careful with that. This is kind of like little thing here, I have it. And then involved in your own, even though that is hurting your chances to becoming a better version of you. Yeah. And this is something I just wanted to say here, because it's really, it doesn't matter what, but right now we're talking about structure, and these things could hurt you as much as it's going to help you to do better in that environment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, what you said. I mean, I personally don't think that pendulums necessarily are a thing. I think the pendulums in of themselves are a topic for that goes a little bit separate from structures themselves, because structure is all about execution, taking on something. Sure, I mean, a pendulum can distract you from, if it's not the correct one, it can distract you from, like, uh, going into the right one, and it could put things in your mind that will pretty much, swing you away from what really matters, and so you might not end up actually getting to know yourself. And I mean, I've been through that, and in a big way, and so now I'm like working on that, but like I know the effects of that, and so yeah. Well, one thing I actually wanted to say about the previous point, really quick, was about like using the heart and the mind. And I think that I think the reason, I know you said a lot that the mind tends to like have all these like negative thoughts and stuff, like they come up with like,
Not necessarily, but
but
I
like,
mean, even the heart has that too. You feel some weird things that it's bad for you.
but like, yeah, I think it really depends on, like, there's also like levels to the mind. And I think that's another thing you should take into account, like what kind of because if you're in like the lower level of your mind, then that's when you start thinking about like quitting, or like negative thoughts. And then you have like the middle part, and you have the really higher thinking, which is like the more prosperous, more future oriented, more like,
They call it advanced thinking.
and so I think if you really understand that advanced thinking and the higher level thinking, you won't really need too much to involve your heart as much, you know, as he was saying. So,
I tell you the truth, not necessarily. You don't have to, but it's if you do it, if you do learn how to get involved, and then it's almost like there's a little door opens and closes. It's like you don't have to use it all the time, but like there are certain points you get confused. You're like, let me go just meditate. It's too much now, and I'm overwhelmed, and I need a break. And then you start listening to your heart a little bit. You shut down your brain, and then you like do I really care about this? Do I really want to do this? Is this important for me? And then you listen. You know, you stop calculating everything. Not every time calculation is going to get you exactly where you need to be, but if you hear, yes, I'm going to go through heartaches, I'm going to go through pressure and anxiety, but I'm going to get there. And nothing has built in good terms, like in easy environments. Everything that you want to create, it has its own hard aspects of it. So you have to pay the price. You have to be willing to pay the price too. So I don't know if I was able to. Let's move to the next, which is strive to surprise yourself. And are you only one out there? Um, do you crack your own code? Those are little words here to like remind us to see, are we able to work with structures environment, or heart and mind connected, or is it somewhere we need to be left alone and we're just that kind of person where we can create and then bring something about. Some people do work that way. They prefer others. They prefer to be working for some kind of company or something where there's like all kinds of rules and structure in there. They're really relaxed and comfortable in that environment. And then you have to ask these things to yourself. So you surprise yourself, and then only one out there. Like you're gonna surprise yourself, like you want to be by yourself doing stuff, or you want to crack the code, like you're gonna create something from beginning, from nothing, or you don't belong in those places. You need to go work in banking or some kind of company environment, and you gotta know. You don't just get in there without knowing, just like trying to be lost in there in this maze of stuff that we do. Like we got to know what we're doing. Yeah.
I would say definitely jump in. I mean, if you don't know who you are and you don't know like what kind of person you are, definitely go and try things out. I mean, you may find out. And I think like we all have at least a little bit of like everything. Like I don't think there's someone who's just like not creative at all. Like that may not be your strength, but you could also have some level of creativity. But I mean, it's not as strong as somebody who's just naturally more creative than the person who's more structured and can be more confined and be like can go for hours just doing the same thing and stuff. So definitely, I mean, strive to surprise yourself. Uh, I think yeah, for sure. I think definitely it all starts with you, and you should be happy and content with whatever it is that you're doing and that you're willing to do out there before you even try to contribute anywhere else. I think you should find your own value first and really strive to really understand yourself and understand like really crack your own code and understand like who you are and what you prefer. And sometimes I think actually I don't think sometimes I think the best way really is go and try it out and trial and error. And so go and try being creative and see if that's something that's really connected with you, and then go and try something that's more something that's more structured, something that's more confined where there's rules, and then try to operate with no rules and see like which ones connect with you the most. And once you've made levels, yeah.
Awesome. Be your own better version. So whatever you think of, that is what it comes. Really, it is manifestations of your doing. Definitely, you manifest everything. If you don't, nothing's coming to you. You think, you act, it will happen. And if it was the wrong one, then definitely the wrong thing is going to happen to you. If it's the right one, it was the right thing to happen to you. Sometimes we think it's the right thing, but when we realize that it's not, we gotta stop. we cannot continue. Just because what you love doing doesn't mean that you have to go all the way to find out how fucked up it is. You can stop before getting to that point. So you have to kind of evaluate the situation while it's going along. How do you do this? This is not easy. This is a long time of trying and trial errors and then learning, and then, but definitely if you have a coach, it's going to help. If you have mentors, it will help. And then maybe if you don't, and you don't know how to get those guys, you can start writing these things down and then go and reading about it and then knowing, like seeing what's happening, and then you kind of know. In the end, you're gonna know. The next one is the key. The key is focus. Work on your mind. You got to work on your mind. Structure is good, but if your mind is not in it, you're not going to be able to follow the structure. It's not going to work. Structure is there for somebody's mind to really learn and follow and execute, and then there's gonna be results. Otherwise, it's not. So you got to know that, because a lot of us, we intend to go against the flow, against the rules, against something, and then the structure has no meaning at that point. So you have to understand that when you get into structure, when there is a structure in front of you, rules and what are you going to do, how are you going to do it, you got to do it. If you don't, it won't work out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, those were pretty good points. I think another thing I would just add on to that, to everything you said, as far as like building structures, I think that building structures with time is something that you're going to get better at, just like anything else. But I think the best thing about structures, and when you really understand them, is that you can shift the structure pretty quickly. Understand, of course, still stay grounded to reality and see the reality of the situation, and if certain adjustments need to be made to the structure, then you make them. You make the necessary changes to the structure, and you go on. And sometimes it's even within the structure to even break the rules. Like maybe you need to break the rules in order to make the structure function, and that's still within a structure, just to see what kind of outcome you get from breaking the rules.
For sure.
And so, like,
that's a good one.
And so, like, I think everything's confined within structure, and the reason why I say that is because I think there's a much higher power above us, whatever, or it could be above whatever, but there's a higher power that really created us. And I think we in of itself, have a structure in the way that we function as human beings. And so, and everything that we have around, I think everything's like, it's something that was created with, so that everything functions in a certain way. So, yeah.
Yeah, what you said, yeah, you just reminded me of this word, which is like words. Rules are meant to be broken. We heard this, right? So there's gonna be, at one point, if the rules are not working, then it's gonna be broken and engineered or whatever. You have to have rules that it works. So I got this from what's his name, Earth Nightingale. So he says, like, our rewards in life will always be exactly proportional to contribution of our service. So this is such a good saying here, and also I think it's part of what we're talking here. Also, structure, which is when we follow structure, when we do what we have to do, we must do. There's going to be rewards coming towards your contribution and to your service. So you have to understand that if there's structure, if there's no structure, it's two different things. But like, if there's no structure, you must have structure. But as always I say, like, you have to have components attached to this structure. You cannot have a box, sit in the box, and you're not gonna shine. You're not gonna be anybody special. You're not gonna be unique. You're not gonna be like, people gonna point to you like, he's fucking amazing. He just did something that we don't understand, because the person has a structure, but he also has components of using his heart, using his knowledge, using something, adding to the structure. He's making something special out of this whole the uniqueness of that person, and that's how you're gonna get paid accordingly, or like this is how what it's saying here, proportional to your contribution of your service. That means like things
for
gonna
sure.
happen to you. So you can take that.
I don't think that what you said was right. As far as like taking structure and like the being within the box. Like I said previously, my definition of a structure is to produce a result. The purpose of the structure is not for you to get you out there and shine and become like an amazing person that everybody's going to look at and become an inspiration. That's not the purpose of a structure. The purpose of a structure is to get something done, get it accomplished, and sometimes that structure can actually be, that box can be boring, but if it's going to produce the result, then that's what we care about. There's a lot of tasks, like with computers. There's a lot of structures I've ran in the past that were boring, but they produce the result. Something like inputting data, programming. Having to program all those things. You look at the code. The code looks extremely boring. Like it's just a bunch of random symbols and words and things that you wouldn't even understand, but that code produces a result and it does something amazing at the end of the day. And yes, maybe that code doesn't shine. You don't see the code when you're using a computer. You don't see the code in the background. You see your icons and you see YouTube. There's a whole lot of programming in the background. You don't see that. You just see YouTube. You're pressing buttons. You're watching videos, and that's awesome and cool. But there's some like really cool, structures happening in the background. That's that's what it is. I mean, and you can also build a structure that can put you out there in the spotlight. But obviously, it depends what kind of structure you're building. I mean, there's structures that are the box is way bigger. It's much wider.
The last part, you're coming closer to what I'm going to try to say.
Oh shit!
The box is definitely bigger and wider. The reason is not because it's fat, because it must be. What you said is very true. When I design something, it's fucking boring. I'm sitting hours and hours and hours, days, weeks, months. I'm designing. I'm spending money. I'm building all this jewelry, and next thing I know, I have a tray of beautiful rings and earrings, and I don't know what to do with it. If I don't go out there, meet people, if I don't market, if I don't spend money, if I don't build a website, if I don't do so many things, no one's going to come and buy it. So having a structure and building all these things and building the codes and everything doesn't mean that it's going to work. And if it works, who's going to use it? Who's going to see it? So those are the components that attach to it. And those have their own structures too. You can't do some stupid things. You have to do the right things to make this thing work. So you have to have structure attached to some kind of, like rules, some kind of salesperson. We think salespeople are boring or salespeople are mean. But if you don't have salesperson, maybe you're not going to be able to sell anything. So there are certain things you got to do it. You got to have components to what the structure is. And you don't forget that, because if you do, then you're going to be stuck with this code that you wrote and you don't know what to do with it. You're just have it, and then no one knows about it. And then how are you going to sell it? How are you going to make money? So you got to have some amazing other kind of talents and things attached to this structure. So
of course,
that's So
you can do that, or you can leverage other people as well. You don't have to do everything on your own.
Definitely, you can leverage. Yeah, you can. But if you want something amazing, great, unbelievable things, it's not going to happen. You can be somewhere in some room just coding, or somebody like me just designing. No one knows about me. Other people are taking it and making money with it, and just fucking like stamping their company name on it, and you know the story.
Yeah.
You know what we do. So if you want to do something special, you got to do something special. if you need to step out of that fucking box, you gotta know how to and come back in. You gotta know that too. Once you get out, doesn't mean that you're free. Go, no. Like you go, you come back. This is what we're talking here. And what is this? Should we talk about this? Having structure, knowing all your numbers, and doing everything perfect. Oh, perfect. Doesn't mean you got to have money. You have to create value in order to receive money. Is not bad. So yeah, money is not bad. You gotta not hate money. You gotta love money, because with money you can create amazing structures, amazing people, amazing company. Whatever you want to do, you can buy those dreams, those tools, those whatever you must have. You can buy. Don't hate money. Money is good. Money is not evil. People are evil. And money doesn't grow on tree. It actually grows on tree. Money is made out of paper. Paper comes from tree, man. Come on. Having structure, knowing all your numbers. You got to know your numbers, man. You can't not know your numbers and doing everything perfect. You got to be perfect too on top of it. What is next? Or what? Evil
mummies.
I don't know about evil and money. I don't know, but
evil money, man.
Create value. Otherwise, having a system. Oh, this got to be good, man. Having a system being active does not mean you will make money. If you want to create money, you have to get out of there and meet people. And this is what we talked about. Something amazing. Yeah, we talked about this kind of like you got to get out of the box.
You don't have to get out there, man.
You got to, man.
You just work for someone.
Listen.
Making money.
Listen, until 2 years ago, I wasn't getting out there. I was 48 years old 2 years ago. 49. I didn't go out there. All those years, I designed, I worked, I created. Other people put their stamps on on the stuff that I built.
Yeah.
And other people made their clients, their customers thought they were the fucking people making it. They were the amazing people.
Yeah.
I decided to go out there now, and I wanna show what I can do, what we're capable of doing. That's why we have kabartsijewelry.com, kabartsi.com. That's why we have Kabartsi Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, everything, because we want to show ourselves who we are, what we do. We're creating our, what is that? Rules?
Yeah.
Our company, our box. Say what you want, but you gotta go out there. Like if you don't, no one's gonna know. You're gonna be.
That's fine, man.
It's not fine for me anymore. You gotta decide if it's fine or not.
Not everybody wants the spotlight, man. Not everybody wants to be out there, be famous, and
like you and me sitting in front of the camera on YouTube.
Some people like to just work in the back, man. They like to be the backbone of a company that's successful, man.
So I guess the moral of the story is you got to figure out who you want to be. What do you want to do, right?
Yeah.
You want to, what kind of structures you want to follow or have, or what is important.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes. What is this? Your system is not going to.
I don't know what is happening here, man.
Gonna be designed to look after you. Must go out there. Must make something happen. You got to make something happen. It's your structure is not going to do it for you. It's not going to come help you to do it. You got to do it. So then again, it comes down to who you are. What are you going to do? What do you want to be? So then this whole thing is.
I think the structure is going to help you make it happen, man. Because the structure is built around knowledge.
Listen, I did it. I did the structure. I when I was doing it, other people were fucking emptying from underneath me, and I didn't know because I was the jeweler. I must make jewelry. I must do it. I must bring money.
And you did.
And I didn't pay attention to the outside of the what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I work for nothing. I work for it all went for waste.
But you made money.
For others. I lived. I was behind my rent all the time. I didn't have enough money to go to supermarket and buy decent food for my kid. I drove like $2,000 car that I said I don't care. I don't give a shit. But it's like, why? Why did I drive that car? You have to do more. You have to be willing to take the more action, the more pressure, the more responsibility. If no one's gonna do it for you, man, this is what I'm gonna do more. I don't care. Like you're gonna stay poor, and you're not when I say that, poor has different levels. Some people have enough money to live. Other people must take some money from government to be survive. Some are on the streets here in Los Angeles downtown. We go downstairs, a lot of them like sleeping on the sidewalks. There's all kinds of poor, but you have to decide, do you want to have enough to help others or have enough, barely enough, or what is it, like, but they all have different mindsets. That's the mindset puts them there. It's not the structure makes them or doesn't make them. You have to willing to do it. Yeah, you just because this is my this is the rules doesn't mean. That's why in sports too, like everyone's playing by the rules, everything. Suddenly this guy comes about and he does some crazy moves and then he scores. Like, what the fuck? Everyone's up on their feet, screaming, yelling, wow, like, because it's well perceived things. Anyways, I don't know if you have anything to say about that, but
yeah, it was good, man. It was structure, man.
Oh, I think we should talk about this because
I think we shouldn't, man.
The 40 oh my god. Okay, here you go, guys. Like your dream is the fourth dimension. You can access to it. You just have to be careful where you are accessing and old or new, the past or the future. So the fourth dimension is earlier Louis asked me and we were going at it, and this is how it goes. We all have senses, the three senses that we do have, which is the feeling we feel, the senses that we use, our ears and eyes and whatever, and what was the third one? Senses. In senses, there are many, the smell and the hearing and the speaking, and then the next one is the feeling, like you touch, you feel, and so the fourth dimension is when you lose your eyes, ears, those kind of things, you must use your inner senses. So you got to go with feelings, or with if you lose your eyesight, you have to use your ear, and then you have to really train your ear to hear a lot more than we do here today. If you use your ear, you got to use your vision to interpret more things and that kind of thing. This is the fourth dimension. So when it comes to doing something amazing, you gotta learn how to do this without even losing your eyes or mind, everything like that. So we're about to finish this podcast, but I gotta tell you guys, like, this is not easy. You gotta really pay attention to this. You gotta really train yourself to be able to do this, and once you do that, you definitely will add one more, attach one more thing to the structure box, and that would be your tool to use and do lot better than what the structure will help you to become to do. So that's what I
Yeah.
wanted to say. What do you think about the fourth dimension?
I mean, honestly, I think it doesn't really matter, to be honest. I mean, I think it's great information, and sure, it's like something cool, some cool fact to know about it, and perhaps it can become something useful. I think it really depends on what you're pursuing, but honestly, like I think when it comes to structures, of course, it's good to have information and knowledge, but I think you should only have and only like use up and study the knowledge that's necessary for whatever goals you're trying to accomplish. I think everything else, a part of that, it's not really. You can't really like unless you're able to use it in your structure. I don't think it's necessary that you should really learn it because you can't implement it into your structure. You can't implement it in some sort of ways, or it's just something that you might use, to have an exchange with someone back and forth. But then it's like just really no structure, I would say, behind that.
So like I would say this 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 person that we gave him to take photos for us, and he
Shout out
hasn't.
to him, man. He watches our podcast.
Yeah. So so he finished the photos,
Yeah,
and it's we still not 100% satisfied, and um, we're trying to like negotiate and then get what we want.
for sure.
And then when before you finish, like you have to have that smartness, that uh, what is that, like intuition,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
You
Yeah,
gotta get out of the box, you gotta get out of the structure, and then use your intuition. How can I do this that my client is amazed? I give more than their expectation, right? That's where the fourth dimension comes in. Like you have to use your intuition, your to be able to understand what it takes to make somebody in like awe, like wow, how amazing this is. Like I was expecting to get this, now I'm getting all this much, to the of course to the client's eye, or the
yeah,
person whoever
yeah.
receiving end of it. So you gotta function with structure. I still because I did it and I didn't like it, and then I was opposed to it, and then I did my own, and then I had other people opposed to the structure that I built, and I've been bunch of end of this thing, this side, that side of it, the other side of it. I just think now the way it works for me, it's I'm not against structure at all. I did read. I actually didn't read. I listened to the book twice. The Principle
Yeah,
by Ray Dalio. That's the most structured explanation you can ever get. If you're really interested about knowing what structure is, how does it work, what, read the book or listen to the book. The Principle, right? That's the book.
principles. Yeah,
Principles by Ray Dalio. It's the guy created $300 billion company from zero, nothing. He built company, he lost, he built company, he lost, then finally he built this company, and he put the rules down, and then that's how they created that amazing company. So
those.
yeah,
There's some amazing things in that book actually
yeah,
that we could
yeah.
really use in this company. I think you should go and reread.
I will
Because,
definitely. I will. I'm not against it at all.
But
I just see that our company is a designer company. I just don't see structures gonna take us too far. We must have other components attached to it. And I will read it, and I recommend you guys read it too, because it's amazing book. It's 600 some pages, right?
yeah,
So, I mean, we're gonna end the podcast. We have, oh shit, we have only one left. Why don't we do this? At least read it. It is not a good structure if it keeps you behind. Otherwise, you're going to be left behind. Um, Obviously, we're talking about it, or also with Finish Man. That was like, I don't know how many questions, but I appreciate you guys. This was amazing. This was really, this was a real podcast. This is what we've been discussing, going back and forth, and then we're having little situations around this. But in,
Yeah.
in life, nothing is simple. Nothing is like how you plan. It just, you gotta do it. You gotta fucking like get on it and then just fix it and go forward. The goal is a lot more important than our, like yeah, how we see things. Yes, also have structure, but remember, by having structure doesn't mean it ended there. You gotta have your components around it, the right components around your structure, so you can become like a car. With only wheels, doesn't the car doesn't go anywhere. With engine, doesn't car the car doesn't go anywhere without wheels. And then this is like, it's a components, and then that's how the car moves. So you have to create this, you have to build this. It's an ongoing thing. If something's not working, you got to fix it. So let me know what do you think, and how do you structure. I would love to hear from you guys. If you don't want to write, you don't want to do anything, you can call, write us an email. That would be amazing too. So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. So the podcast was awesome. I mean, we didn't get to cover everything as far as like the most of the points here, but
Yeah,
maybe we can make like a part two or something. Some
maybe
other
we should.
some other time covering everything we didn't, but definitely it was cool. And yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot about like structures and how they function and how you can make use of structures in your own life and work environment as well. And so yeah, I mean, thank you very much. There's going to be links down below so you guys can follow us on social media. It's going to be a link to our website so you can check out our jewelry and everything else. It's going to be amazing. Uh, Links to our books and everything. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Thank you guys. We'll see you.